So 3, 2, 1, go.
It's me, Mario. Okie dokie.
Alright, okay, we're all in. Okay, I also see that there is a bug here too because of the old info. Oops. May as well fix that and well see it. Bam. Okay, so okay, we're good. So this is Star Revenge 8, the Scepter of Hope. It was made by Brodut, and this is an open world hack. Which that means there is no like a huge overbuild with levels in it, but all levels are interconnected with each other. And Isometer is gonna be getting some stuff from the Ghost one. I don't quite know the 8-star route super well, but if I recall correctly, it is fairly straightforward. We just go forwards to the end of the game and win. Also, there's a pool cropping too, probably should fix it too while I'm on it. While Isometer is going to be getting the stars on the wooden things. There we go, perfection. So now he's gonna be getting a star on the lake. There was a small skip that he did in order to go faster to the lake instead of going around it. And now the last star here is gonna be secrets. Not too much to talk about it, just a little bit of swimming action in the cold waters. That's all what we strive for here. But I think I finally settled up for the commentating, maybe. But as I said earlier, I'm more of a 121 star runner in this game, which is a 100% category. So I'm sort of more knowledgeable about it than the 80 star. So now Isometer is going to go for the 6 red coins and 80 star. 80 coin star, which is fairly straightforward again. Just got to collect some cards. Yeah, this game is also called channel Super Toho 64. It has some nice Toho music, not the regular music that you may expect from the normal ROM pack. The current would be probably better than mine because I don't quite remember this game. I haven't played it for like a year. But yeah, that's nearly the end of the route. There was a small skip to get on the icy part. You were supposed to do a small loop around on the Kazo objects, but instead you can just use the side flip to get on top. I think Isometer. Oh no, he has just enough coins. I usually don't kill that spin drift, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I have run Star Revenge 8. Yeah. Maybe I'll come back to that game one day, but currently I'm not really interested in picking it up again. After all, it's kinda hard game to run. So what you're supposed to get here first, some stars are blocked, or some courses I should say, are blocked by the caps. So there are two main caps, the green cap and the vanish cap. And the other one is the keys, so there is key 1, key 2 here. The first thing we need to obtain is the it's engraved mausoleum, and I think it is actually a super badge that allows us to break the gray blocks. There's also blocking some courses behind it. But now it's time for the small auto scroller that we have to do on the boat. There's a small skip over here where you can just jump to the third secret instead of waiting for the boat to get to it. Alright, good. I think there is also 80 coin star with red that is collected here, but I'm not quite sure. So let's see what he's going to do. I think he's actually going for the waterfall star, which is in 121 star route. Is done in the end because in 121 star he traverses the levels backwards because the ways the warp works. So like you may see that when you collect the star, you are spawned in some sort of a hub that has a pipe that can go one direction, and the direction will be the beginning of the stage. So if you go backwards, you will appear at the previous stage. So now he's going to be doing the quick to the tunnel star, which requires us to do a check clip with this guy over here. Let's start checking like this. Let us cut half of the tunnel so we don't have to swim as much. And I think that's about it for the course 2, if I were to guess, but let's see what he's going to do. Yeah, I'm fairly certain he is either going for the finals, which seem to be a slow move, or he's going to the next course, which is course 3 maybe? I can't quite remember, but it is a abandoned graveyard with a bunch of graves that can be movable. But that's not what we really need from this course right now. Usually we want to go to the later courses to get to the Great Mausoleum, but here Isometer is going to be doing the bomb flip instead. He failed it unfortunately, so no bomb flip for him, but he can still back it up using the casual holds and hold skip. It allows that is need to do with the triple jump and some good frame wall kicks to get on top, which I find really annoying back in then. In the back in the days, you will have to do the skip two times, but here he only technically need to do it once, so he is going to try to do the bump again to the room with the pillars and skips the super badge. Let's see if we can do it this time. Nope, still no success. But Isometer has another backup star, it seems like. That is just some ball kicks in the room with the things. This C-shaped things. that you can arch on to make your way on top faster. Okay, the third time to do a bomb clip. Let's see if we can succeed this time. I hope so, because this clip is kinda neat. Still no. I think he's pressing the B button way too late, so that's really sad. The B button doesn't let Isometer do a bump clip and the full strat. Maybe he'll just go for the quotes and quotes regular way of doing the skip. So you can do the triple jump that I was talking about with the wall kicks. And then you, oh, that's sad. And then after you do the triple jump, you use the another bomb that's on top to clip inside, which is a lot easier because you don't have to do a bomb clip in a regular way, or just let the bomb push you inside. Wait, he's doing it? He's doing it? He's doing it? LFG. What a gamer. Like a god. Yeah, he is actually doing this bump clip because the triple jump strat is kinda annoying because they have to do 2 wall kicks with a fairly good frames. It's not something you want in your good speed game. Okay, now for the some Kazo objects action. This game is actually full of Kazo objects. I think it was like an era where Kazo objects were very popular, so Brody just put a lot of them in the game, which made it kinda annoying. It's like a good example of why you shouldn't put too many objects, but it makes the gameplay really stupid and painful. And there it is. And now he's going to go for the reds, I assume. Yeah, but there's also not much to talk about here. Basically just do some long jumps. I think intentionally Barry just wanted you to use the middle platforms, the small ones, but it's never really fast to do it, so there is no good reason to use them. Long jumps are just as good as it could be. So now he's gonna move on to course 4, which is some magma cave. The gimmick in that course that you can change the lava level in order to get to different parts of the stage. But also the lava in that course is kinda weird. The way it works is not like a regular lava where if you hit it, you will lose all your momentum and go upwards, but the lava here actually keeps the momentum. That's going to be used later for one specific star. But first again, I'm gonna go for the reds, so the place on the pillars. Some pillars here are fake. You can detect the fake ones by looking on their bottom. If it is red, it is fake. But if it's regular purple color, it's good. So I guess he's going to go for the Great Mausoleum now, because the lava level is just perfect for entering the stage. Because later on we will need to raise it a little bit, and with the raised lava level you can't get to the Great Mausoleum. So he's gonna be doing some skips using the wall kicks on this wooden things. There are multiple ways to abuse the wooden pillars here. That's one of them. Just not something I usually were doing, but it looks easier. Okay, he's doing one more time again. And collecting some reds meanwhile. So in the original WSRM2020 release, it's like a 1.2 version if I recall correctly. The red coins were spread all around the stage, which was quite a bit harder. Here thankfully, reds are all packed together, which makes it significantly faster and less annoying. So the way you are supposed to climb this mausoleum is to press the different flip block switches that is changing the colors from red to blue, and on each layer there is like a switch to get on the next level. So now it's time for the eyeball fight here. It's a fairly straightforward fight except for one specific gimmick. So there is a the breakable box pass with the eyeball that is going to disappear after the switch timer runs out, and you have to kill the eyeball first. Thankfully it's not really that much of a deal. You don't have to play like a god in order to kill the eyeball. Yeah, that can make some minor troubles if you are not used to SM64 mechanics. But Isometer is obviously really good at SM64, so it doesn't have any troubles getting the eyeball down. And that's a great mausoleum, which will give us a super block, so a badge that we can break the super blocks. This great things, which is very convenient and it's required for the 80% completion of the game. I should say that there is not only like an 80 star category. That's not the fastest way to beat this game. 80 star is an 80% IC, the 10 star current category, but there's also a quicker route which is 5 star, which is you clip through the last door, which is 75 star door, and beat the final boss, which is not nearly as fun as doing the 80 star run in my opinion. But yeah, the Isometer also did some nice bomb clip. This game is actually full of bomb clips. There is like a whole lot of bomb clips because project. There's a whole lot of that pesky enemies all around the levels, which broke the game quite a little bit, but it's not like too bad. Also that stage that cost 4, it doesn't have the enough amount of coins. There is just a flip switch that you have seen Isometer pressing not to get the start. Right now, I think he's going for the no block glitch. Let's see, no, he's not going for no block glitch. Okay, so here you can see the skip that abuses the weird mechanics of the lava that saves your momentum, and use that momentum save you can get faster without changing the lava level here to the start. Right now I think it's gonna be another bomb clip, but it's sort of scary bomb clip because in order to perform it you need to have the lava level not up. Oh, that's also a weird thing in this game, that the ground pallets are for some reason broken. They for some reason move your direction. Okay, so whenever you ground pound, the Mario will be slightly moving forwards for some reason, and it occurs in multiple places in this game and could be really annoying, so you have to account for that fact. Also, nice bomb clip from the Isometer. It is slightly more hard than it looks because the space there is pretty tight, so you need to throw a bomb in a limited space. So now we finally have to raise the lava layer to the level 3, as you may see here on the side. and get one more star using the specific mechanics of the lava here. Yeah, we see here that the lava level is up now. And there we go. Pretty simple star. So now we're done with the course 4, we can backtrack a little bit to get to the course 5. And while we backtrack, we generally prefer to collect some stars that we are missing before, so we can get back to the beginning of the stage. So if we were to guess, Isometer is going to collect here one of the stars he's missing, and it's going to be the 80 coin star and something else. Oh yeah, I know why. I know what is going to be the panel star here. So there are panels under the graves that are movable here. Unfortunately, we did not get a chance to see the movable graves in the Great Mausoleum because they are not faster in any way. But here you have to move them in order to get to the panels. So this section is kind of tricky because there are enemies on this little bridge thing, and they can easily snipe you, so you got to be slightly careful. But Isometer is not having any troubles here, gaming as usual. Press the green coin switch, getting some greens, and moving his way to the graveyard area. Don't forget to press some panels here. That's one, and there's another one in the opposite direction. Having some trouble pressing the panel, that's a common thing that happens with them because they are placed on a terrible position, so they can't be pressed easily and they prefer to be unpressed on any interaction with them. Did not have any troubles with the second one, so we're good. Should get the hour 80s and finish up the stage. You got slightly too many coins, you need only 75 because there's a row of 5 on the beach. But it's better to have more than, that's right. It's all fine. Optimizable record. If I were to guess, it is not really optimized. If you were to try this game out, you could probably get world record in like a week. So, but it has some bomb clips, so if you don't like bomb clips, you're gonna have a bad time with this game. Okay, now in the course 2, Isometer is going to go for the panels to get spawned to the beginning of the stage after collecting the star. So it's kind of a plain panel star because you can see where the panels are under the flowers. But of course, Isometer is a speedrunner, he knows where the panels are and has a route for them already made before. So now we are done with the first branch of the open world, and we are moving on to the course 5. And in course 5 we will need to get what will we need to get? I think it's a wind cap that we are missing in course 5. Not direct in course 5, course 5 is also a stage between some things around. It leads us to 2 different courses, course 7 and course 6 if I recall correctly. But yeah, first he's going to do a skip that allows us to get to the top of the stage faster using this trunk here with some wall kicks. There we go, clean, 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 clean. And use these moving things that are annoying. Thankfully we don't need to ride them too much because we can just long jump everywhere to win. Okay, this game is actually really fun to run. I had lots of fun when I was running 121 star. I also should say that 121 star is a bit trickier than 80 star obviously because there's some stars required to be actually good. But yeah. So I think he's going to go for the sand block star. Let's see. Yeah, the sandblock star. In the previous release of this game in 1.1 or something like this, the sandblocks weren't here. They were actually shrink platforms, which made the star a lot more cancer because you had to because the shrink platforms have less space to work with and you can easily fall down. Also, the shrink platforms did respawn, so you only had really a one chance at the start, otherwise you die. So now he's heading off to the pass here on the stars. Some stars here are fake. There is a solution somewhere in the course, but as always, speedrunners always know where to go. So no doubt here, just picking up the correct route instantly. Okay, so now I think he's heading off to the next course. Wait, no, never mind. I'm lying. He's going for the stars on top of the trunks here. He has some small skip over here that you can do with a triple jump, like this. Yep, that's a good one. I don't think I ever managed to pull this off when I was bad. I probably can easily do it this 2 days, but yeah, I kind of feel like going back to this game and trying to make my run better, but not really feeling like it right now. Also, good maneuvering on the Kaza objects platforms. I prefer to ride everything further because I like to be safe and slow, but Isometer doesn't have any hesitation, going fast. So now for sure we're heading up to the next course, right? Let's see. Yeah, okay, that's definitely the next course. It can be, yeah. So now it's gonna be the course 6, the bamboo something, bamboo forest. And in this course there is a Bowser 1 fight. It is called Iron Tay, something in that over that lines. And that course is one of the first tricky courses in this game that you actually have to be good to complete it. It is a fairly lengthy course. If you die, you lose like a couple minutes, maybe not a couple minutes, but at least a minute, which is really not something you want to do. So it's like one of the reset points of the run. And after beating the course itself, you get to the first Bowser fight, which is not really a Bowser fight, just like a slime. It's actually just a boo fight. All fights in this game are boos, so you have to kill multiple boos, and in the end there's some sort of a quote-unquote boss rush mode. You have to kill 5 boos in a row. So in total in this game, I think you have to kill 7 boo bosses, which is, I don't complain. It's better than you have to do throws, right? Those are all fine. I think according to this game lore, the boss is called Square Dash or something like this. I could never pronounce these amazing names. But yeah, Isometer is going smooth over these platforming sections. And straightforward right now, nothing to speak about, just cutting some corners, killing some enemies and getting reds. Now it's gonna be like a very small skip where you can, instead of going full backwards, you can just long jump from this spot and get to the spring faster. Not going for that, right? Because you don't need 6 out of 8 in this version of the game. And last section where you need to ride the Koopa Shell. Oh no, that's like a feels Batman moment right here. And that's what I told about the reset spot in this run, right? That's what happens. Hopefully this is gonna be the run this time. At least like 2 minutes. Something about that. Feels Batman for Isometer, but can do it. This course has a pretty good music. I actually prefer to break the shell at the end of the Entei because I'm pussy to do it fast, but the greed took over. I don't know Star Range 5, I never ran it. I'm probably not the best commentator ever. I don't even know the route for this game well. I only played 121 star. Well, like I should say, casual with a timer playthrough of Star Range 8 121 star. I actually learned this game for the standard relay race, but I didn't end up doing the run for it because it was actually Galaxy that did the run for me, who is miles better than me. My time differs from him, like, I think there's like a 30-minute gap between our times. That's like my time is basically a joke in this game, but I know some stuff. Going safe now, try not to die, and got the red coin star. So the first key boss, after killing this guy, he will give us a key that will let us enter the Makai fields in the Hakura Bridges course, which both of them we haven't seen yet. But I'm fairly certain that Isometer is going to head over to these ones after the book. Let's see. There we go. Pretty simple fight, fairly straightforward. It was slightly harder in the early release of the game because there was not. There were a lot more fires that player had to avoid. But now Isometer is going for the Bubble Forest Maze, which is the classic pipe maze made by Brodut. We all love those. The pass here is written on one of the signs under the Ultra block, but we don't really need to read that sign because the maze is static, so we all do know where to go here. There it is. So now Isometer is going to be doing a small skip over here, where you can get on top of the wooden platforms using the walkings on thin platforms, which is not really that hard as it may look because there is a good setup for it. You can just stand on the tip of the water and you'll get it every time. Really simple. I'm kinda getting used to the 121 star route because you generally do the stage at the very beginning of the game. So I'm kinda not really used that you have to do the stars here so early. But yeah, Isometer is a specialist in the 80-star category of this game, and I'm fairly certain he has world record in both 80 and 2021, even though I'm not quite sure. Maybe Stick, Stick I mean, has a world record in 121. Also really good at the game compared to me. But yeah, it's gonna be a nice skip over here. You can use the spring to keep the momentum, to skip part of the castle blocks maze, which is really nice. And use the power of the snow block to get to the star directly. That skip is like one of the coolest things you can do with the springs. So now getting back to the course 5 and grabbing one more star here to backtrack a little bit to the Hakuri bridges. So it's gonna be a lava waterfall star, and you can skip half of it using the lava bounces. You can't low on HP here, but it's not really that much of a deal. You can just wing it. Heading to the next course here. No, I think he's actually going for the star. Yeah, right, he's going for the star. That is placed in that grey box that we couldn't open before because we didn't have the super badge. Thankfully we do have one now, so we can just get it. Okay, so he's going back to the course 1, so I would assume he wants to get back to the overworld. I'm not quite sure. He's gonna clean up the course 1 because there's also a grey box here that you need super badge for. It is where the Ice Pass here is. There it is. And just a simple shell star. Here we go. Nice and easy. So 7 quitting to get back to the overworld, and now we can use the overworld to get to the Hakuri bridges. And from the Hakuri bridges we are gonna go straight up to the Makai fields using our key one that we obtained in the INT stage. You can actually skip the key 1 door if you want to, but the skip for it is fairly not easy. You have to use the bomb clip with a hands-free trick, which is not something very fun, and I'm not quite sure if it's actually faster than just beating the boss one normally. But if you were to watch the run called Ultra Badge Rush, where you are getting the Ultra Badge as fast as possible, that's the skip that you would have to do. Time for the next pass here. So on the end of this pass we are gonna have a bully fight which blocks the wing cap switch that is required for us to get to the second Bowser fight in the Hakuri fields. So first things off, we're gonna clear up a bit of Makai fields. I'm fairly certain that Isometer is gonna leave 1 star here for the backtrack. Let's see what will happen. So if I recall correctly, he's going for the cannon skip over here. But let's see. You can use the fly guy. Wait, no cannon skip. Okay. I am lying to the viewers. How bad of me. But yeah, there's a skip that you can use the fly gate for. Wait, did he open the cannon but still goes for the cannon skip? Thinking face emoji. Okay, guess it was just for the marathon safety. The cannon skip. But yeah, there it is, that's the cannon skip. So here it is a named Dream World, if I recall correctly. And first things off, we are going to be doing an arch skip here. Oh, not that great luck here. I have a good setup for this arch. It is fairly thick arch. Like on the top, you have to cross quite a bit of a gap. But with a good walk, it's not going to be that much of an issue. Okay, third try, let's see. I didn't quite turn in the control stick properly for the rocket to hit him. I feel this is the one. There we go. He's done it. So I didn't wait to get to the top here. Oh, we need the cannon. Oh yeah, okay, of course we need the cannon. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about the ones of the stars for the cannon. yeah. This makes a lot more sense now. So I think he's going for the bully fight right now. Which is conveniently placed between the beginning of the stage and the star we want to get. And the bully fight will not make us go outside here, so we can just abuse that fact and kill the bully while we are heading for one of the stars here. And there it goes. So this is a bully fight, and right off the bat there's a small skip here that you can use the triple jump to cross the gap. On the left you can see here. There we go, perfectly executed. You can technically do it from the either place here, but it is a lot safer to cross one of the edges of the square, because the distances are not equal from all the sides. And for the marathon safety, of course, it is more convenient to do it like that. So in this fight you have to kill the 3 bullies in the bottom first, and then go to the top and hit down the big bully right down the hole. You can also do the entrance setup here in order to skip one of the layers of this tower, but you need to do a specific setup. Not sure if Isometer was going for it, but anyways, that's the bully tower done, and now we can add the wing cap. And there is a wing cap text box skip if you can perfectly execute. So you need to hit the side of the pipe, otherwise the text box will still appear. But if Mario is bonking all the pipe right into the wall, he won't get the text box. Very nice skip. Unfortunately, it's not always that easy. Sometimes the triple jump will troll you and you'll get the text box anyways, or if you won't bonk on the wall, the text will appear, and after that you will hit the water pipe. So in the 1.1 star route we get quite a few stars here with the cannons, but if I were to guess, the cannons are slow, so he is not going to go for these ones. So instead he is going to go to the top of the stage, I assume, to get to the shrink platform star. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's a pathway to shrink platforms. And there is like a one more star that you can get here. It is hidden on one of the sides of the uh, of the mesh, but you don't really need to use a warp there because that's the star which we obtained using the arches. But in my 21 star out, we use that warp not to get faster to the beginning of the stage. Yet we don't use it for the star itself. Right, now we're gonna backtrack a little bit. As usual, that's our lozenge for the thesis of the star range 80 star round to backtrack everything. So that's where the can is useful in. Okay. Just a little bit of a silly kick in here. You can just long jump everywhere, but it's slower because if you long jump, you have to do a ledge grab. Ledge grab is slow, so instead the kicks are faster, but more dangerous because if you will fall down, you will have to do either reds or just die. I'm not quite sure if reds are even that fast for the 80 star run. But yeah, clean execution. Heading off to some of the normal stars here first. So there's some small skipping on to get to the red coin section, I see, yeah. And there are a bunch of reds here, but not all of them are correct, the true reds. Some of them are just fake coins, and you can't really tell whether ones are fake or not. So you have to know the route you need to take to collect the correct reds here. But yeah, no problems here, just hitting the correct thieves out of 8 and getting the star right. I also remember, but if you're gonna take one more lava bounce here, which is technically the thing you can do, and if you just long jump from that hill, you'll get 2 damage from the fall and die. It happened to me once. It was really sad moment. I would not recommend anyone. So now he's going for the bridges of Hakurai, or bridges not Hakurai, yeah, he did. Bridges of Makai, something like that. Something around that lines. It is straightforward star. Just some small skips up here and there to cut the corners. Not my discretion. There's also piranha plants over here, which is annoying. You have to avoid it, otherwise he's gonna kill you. One more good long jump here to the right to the star. Use the chain long jump. Perfectly executed. And the star is obtained. So back to the Hakurai bridges again, because we have a wing up now, and with the wing up we can go to the other branch of the open world, and it is the branch with the high something. I don't remember the name of the course. Feels bad, man. But it has some really good music. That's one of my favorite tracks in the game. Unfortunately, because of the SM64 limitations, you can't quite hear the soundtrack properly because it is trying to play way too many notes at a time, and it is way too much sauce for SM64 engine to handle, so it cuts out a little bit, which is kinda sad. But we have to deal with that. So I think you should also collect reds here, if I remember correctly, yeah. But no, we're heading to the course first. Maybe we are gonna go for the rest later. I'm not entirely sure what will happen. So reds and hundreds here. Again, fairly straightforward thing. You just go around the stage a little bit. So there is some paths here that are colored, like inked, with the blue color, which means that they're slippery. Nothing too much to talk about this really, just like, hey, these things are slippery, you have to know that. Well, that's all I can tell about the stage 3. Also, stream is kind of laggy for me. Can someone confirm it didn't die? Hope it's still okay. But yeah, I'm just gonna be quiet here for a bit so I can enjoy the music. Okay, the stream is fine. I'll just reconnect it to the VM just in case. Yeah, everything seems to be running smoothly. And that's a 80-point star. And the reds are very close. So, if I recall correctly, there are like one star that is fast here, which could be in either of the two places you need to go. So I think he's going for the Dark Knot, I think that guy is called. Let's see. Yes, the Dark Knot star, which you need to traverse some of the clouds here, which has some weird collision on the sides, but if you know the game, you know where to go, you should be okay with that. I think there was some kind of holiday related to Zelda, that's why there's Dark Knot model here. I don't quite remember, I wasn't around the times when WSRM2020 was made. So if we were to guess, we're going to the next course. It's called Shiny Needle Castle. But I'm obviously wrong, because we need to do the slide first. So for the slide, you can do a slide timer glitch here, which I'm not sure Isometer is going to be doing. Yeah, it seems like he's going just for an end way to do it, which is okay. It's not that much of a deal to get the slide timer star in the end way. But in the 121 star, we use a slide timer glitch while we are doing a different star on the pass of the slide. So I can really do some detour there, and then go back, hit the go, and get the star. Okay, so I think we are finally heading off to the Shiny Needle Castle here. So, I'm fairly certain in 1.1 star route, we just straight out go to the Yokai Mountain here, which is about a 2 course. But here, in each star route, we might as well just collect some stars on our way. But I'm wrong, we are still going for the Yokai Mountain first, which is Sao please. So we're gonna be getting some reds, and I'm gonna shut up again so we can enjoy the music. Alright, so how this level works is kinda interesting. So there is a boss fight that is in the middle of the stage, which is not really a boss that will give you a key, just a boss in the middle of the fight for basically no reason. It is also placed in the same area as a normal stage is, So your reds are all safe, and the reds are placed in both middle, in both in the bottom part and the top part of the stage. And also conveniently enough, we don't really need to climb the Yokai mountain fully, because you can just collect the red coin star, which will conveniently warp you on top of the stage. Yeah, that's a red star. And there we appear right at the top. So we can kill the second, so we can do the second boss fight, which is another boo as I mentioned earlier, as all other bosses here are boos. Yet again, not too much to talk about this, except it is a boo fight which is buffed with the geometry. The best threat here is to stand in the middle, right near the fires, and just hit the bull 3 times. Like this. Pretty good. So now it's time for some backtrack. And the boss that we are going to be completing now is the Shiny Hill Castle, as I mentioned earlier. Wait, are we not going to Shiny Hill Castle? It's gonna be so sad though if you won't. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I expected more from here. Alright. Yeah, that's what I expected. Anyways, so Shiny Hill Castle, there are a bunch of nobos here that we can abuse to do nobo glitches here. Some on nobo glitches are easier than the other ones, because you can use the Goombas, or Kedamos here in this case, to do nobo glitches easier. But I'm not sure if Isometer is going to be doing any of this. Let's see. Yeah, this stage is like actually really terrible in my opinion. Mostly because the 100 coin star or 80 coin star, its level is like, it doesn't really have too many of those. But I very much doubt that in this route the 80 coin star is included. So small skip over here, so I have to walk around. It makes us lose 3 HP, but it's not too much of a deal, because we can just instantly recover our health. And another skip to get to the top quicker. We don't really need to press... Oh no, that's a problem. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. You usually need some HP in order to do more lava bounces later on. Thankfully there is a row of 5 that helps. There we go. So please have true, so true. Also have Phantom. Yeah, it's kinda scary here if you are gonna mess up and fall in the lava. I actually didn't know myself that there are row of 5 there, so it was like kind of new for me. I don't think I ever messed up that, or if I messed up I instantly died. But yeah, that was an amazing save from Isometer. So now it's time for some shenanigans with the Liso platforms. And also I forgot to mention what's the gimmick of the stage is. So if you first stand on the platforms with the blue and red arrow, the stage will flip over. So you are currently at like the ceiling of the stage and the floor becomes the ceiling back. That's like the gimmick here. Both of the areas share the red coins and etc. So yeah, like basically on the same map, but just hidden behind each other using the black walls. So here was a small skip also, that there is a metal cap in the scores that you are supposed to use on the lava here, but it's not necessary. You can just do the casual 2 lava bounces, or even 1 lava bounce if you are good. Don't think Project knew that in the WSRM these 5 coins will be useful. So time for the Nobel glitch here. So if you press the B button on the first frame when you touch the knob block, the glitch will occur. So I can explain how it works, because I was recently looking through the code of the knob blocks, trying to figure out what exactly it happens. So what happens here, that Taza on the first frame when you land to a knob block, it sets your speed to 200, and then it sets your action to the single jump or double jump, I think it is. And if your action is double jump and you have 200 speed, it will instantly get capped to whatever maximum value is. But if you press the B button, after the knob block code is executed, it is telling you to change the action from the double jump to the diving animation. And diving animation doesn't have any cap on the speed. So 200 speed is brought without any altering to the player, that lets you to get insane amount of fights. So now this is just a casual bully fight with layering things, and it is not too much to talk about. It's just annoying bully fight, because if you're gonna get pushed or bullied down, there is no way to recover, which is really sad. Okay, now it's time to clean up Sky High Ruins. I'm fairly certain it's gonna be the Sand Star here. Oh, no, it's not Sand Star, it's the... Wait, where the hell is it? I think that's yeah, it's an Icy Pass Star. So there are multiple passes you can take here, but most of them are blocked off using the ice, and you have to go around them. But thankfully enough, you can just do a good triple jump, or not triple jump, long jump, right near the end of the star, which is a lot more convenient. So I think that's it for the Sky High Ruins, and we go back to the Hakori Bridges. And it is finally time to do some action in the Course 7. So first we're gonna explore the house here, which has the panel in the end that I need to press. It's also fairly straightforward, you just have to do some platforming. There are some skips on the backtrack here to the beginning of the house, where you can just long jump to the end and take 1 lava bounce hit, like this. There it is. So now I'm fairly certain we are going to go for a lot more stars here. So I think mini stars could be in, but apparently I'm wrong. If we're not gonna get anything, well, that's too bad. At least we have Course 5, and we're gonna go for the reds and possibly 80s. Yes, we're gonna go for reds and 80s here. I feel myself a little bit bad for not knowing the 80 star route before this run, but I didn't really have too much time to get prepared for the proper commentary, so whatever, I'll just adjust whatever I have the knowledge about the 121 star route in. So SM is kind of heading to the blue coin switch, which is inside this gray block. Quite straightforward, just some movement action. But when you run this game, it actually feels really nice to perform on this. It's like really well-paced game, in my opinion. And that's about the end of the route here. There is a red coin behind this house. And the row 5 to clean up both 89 reds.
Okie dokie.
Right, and we are finally heading to the last section of the game, which is the section on the moon. The section is actually intended, well, also was intended to be accessed from the Bowser 2 fight, or Bowser 2 itself, I mean, the Yokai Mountain, but thankfully we can just use the overworld here to get there faster. So now there's gonna be a small skip here. You can, if you hit the toad with the bomb. Whoa, it didn't work. Well, okay. I think his behavior was kind of messed up anyways. But yeah, you have to make sure the toad is visible, otherwise the bomb will not be able to trigger the text box from the toad. Yep, this is the final hub, true. This is the end of the game. So the last thing we have to achieve here, acquire, are the, first of all, it's a Vanish Cap, and second of all, it is the Ultra Badge. Ultra Badge is actually the only thing that is required to finish a game aside from the 75-star door. So Vanish Cap is not really that much of a use. So we're gonna see Isometer skipping the Vanish Cap requirement here. It's gonna come up in a second. First of all, we need to collect some coins in the I think it's called Dreamy Space Tunnel or something like this. Just some coin sections. This course is one of the hardest courses in the game. I think this one is actually the hardest for sure because of how sparse the platforms are, and you have to do some tricky jumps here and there. Yeah, the hardest. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Missing some coins from the Snaffit, but it should be all okay because there are some Goombas and the Scuttlebuck to help out with the coins. Wait, is it double star spawn? No, it sure isn't. If the Goomba RNG wasn't terrible, it could have been it, but feels bad, man. No double star spawn here. So if you were to hit both the red coin and the regular coin at the same time, 2 stars will be spawned at the same time, which saves like a few seconds, but it looks epic. Too bad, unfortunately. Not a thing here. Good morning, Pluto. So now we're heading to the moon part of the game, I would assume. Oh, that's unlucky. You have to go fast so Womp or Thwomp doesn't haze you. Unfortunately, it didn't go well this time. Yeah, the opinions about this hack are kind of sparse. It's either you like it or you hate it. Personally, I really like this hack. It's like one of my favorite hacks ever made. It's like it has really interesting design choices and really good music, of course. Walker's Hub, true, so true. I think there's actually a 90-star run of Night of Doom somewhere around these dates. Not quite sure when exactly, but Link Crash, who ran Super Mario Apocalypse, the previous runner, is going to do a 90-star run of Night of Doom. So unfortunately, there are a little bit of frame drops. I'm not sure if it's also terrible on stream, but maybe it's just my PC being terrible. Yeah, I think there are just a few frame drops. Hopefully it's gonna stabilize soon. But yeah, currently Isometer is doing the stars on the clownish moon surface before going into the course 15. Or it is course 14, yeah. The last course here. In the course 13 there is a vanish cap switch that I mentioned earlier, but we don't really need it for anything here because we can do a vanish cap skip. So one of them is right here. We use a bomb to clip to the gate, and you can just go straight into. So this star is kinda annoying because of everything is so dark and black, but Isometer obviously knows where to go, which path to take to get to the star. Some paths here are just dead ends, so you have to if you play casually, yeah, you will have some bad times with it. Has some broken body, man. You sure know that Night of Doom is the hardest hack ever, considering you're running Masters Challenge the other day. Did you get the 90 stars by the way, or you wasn't able to get the IA reds? I think if I correctly know II reds, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it's currently doing the quiz here. It's like a sensitive millionaire, but it's a bootleg edition. Just some science with meme questions about Brodyt and some Toho related memes. Also, thankfully, the answers are not random, so you can just take the correct door pattern to win. Well, 89, yeah, then you didn't get reds. That's unfortunate, but it's okay. That's a marathon. You can't always expect to get 30-minute star with bunch of jump kicks on the slippery surfaces. So now there is one more star here. I think we need to do it's Troll Star Room. Also very cool, brothers. Amazing idea. Unlike the other Troll Star Rooms, like in Star 7, this one is a little bit special. In order to get the real star, you have to collect the star that is tilted instead of the one, because other ones are not. Obviously, it's also not RNG. It's just straight out there. No problems with it at all. It also doesn't really put you out of the course, so you can continue your way on to get apparently reds, I think, if I were to guess. But maybe just going straight out to course 14. I'm not entirely sure. Because I doubt that most will have reds, and reds are fast here. Wait, is this an 80s route? It's kind of a weird one. That's not what I was doing when I was running this game. Oh, that's a sad moment. That's really a sad moment. So if you miss a thread, you have quite a bit of threads to back up, but it will make your life slightly worse. That will have to go out of your way in order to fix this. Okay, this one must be a backup red, because kind of far from where we need to go. And where we need to go is to get back to the beginning of stage using some triple jumps on the slopes like you may see here, and get the blue coin switch. And that's the 80s and that's threats. So for the final star door, as I said earlier, we need only 75 stars. So only 6 stars to go here before the end. Unfortunately, we can't get the mini stars of the lava lake here because we don't have the vanish cap. And in order to fix, what's it called, fix the lack of the vanish cap star here, we're gonna be doing the, not vanish cap, just vanish cap switch. We're gonna be doing a bomb tip instead, like this. Very good. So we don't need to kill the boss that is guarding the vanish cap switch. So now he's going for the epic skip. It allows us to get faster to the top, which saves like a few seconds, but looks really epic. Yeah, perfectly you need to have a medium bomb here, but I think that's a small one, so you will have to do some more kicks to get on top. And that's really nice. Very good stuff. So this is the moon triangles. That's a typo, but not. I think it's actually fixed in this version, so I can't even joke about it anymore. But yeah, you have to kill 5 piranha flowers here that 4 of them are placed on like full pass, 4 pass on the in the stage. So that's like one. Oh, it's trials. It is so sad. Why would he fix the typo? Why? Anyways, so that's 1 piranha flower, and there are 4 more to go. So 3 pass to do, and 1 piranha flower in the middle. I also should say that I am not a Toho specialist, so I have no clue about where things are taken from. Please don't tell me I suck. I know I do. I'm just a guy who plays SM64 effects and I like Toho music. But I never really tried any shmups of kinds. There are 2 junkers. Insane. I hope they are brother and sister. So nice, very nice skip that you can use the speed from the triple jump, speed from the spring using triple jump. It's actually a lot easier than it may look like. You can just press a button in time and have like lots of frames for it. And that was the last random flower, this one. And we get a star. Okay, that's the badge that we will need to get to the 75 star door. So we need 4 more stars here in order to finish up the stage. So this course has lots of water, but there are also water level changes here that you may use to access different parts of the stage. So here there's a boat ride that you can skip part of. Unfortunately, we still have to do some waiting here, trying to avoid the fire spews that are completely free. But you can use a triple jump here not to get right to the start, and it skips like a quite considerable amount of ride. Also, there's some bombs around here that may bait you that you can clip inside the cage where boat is, but unfortunately that you can't do that. It's impossible. Too bad. So Now I'm fairly certain it's time to use some mod level changes. This one, for example, to access some areas of the level that require them. Generally, Barrier doesn't tell you that you can go back on top like that easily, but if you can swim fast enough, you can just do that. So one clip here to get to this area, to the star, which doesn't save that much. It's like 10 seconds, I think, or something around those numbers. But and you also need to have a good bump here, so I wouldn't say it's super marathon safe, but Isometer is better at game than me, so he knows better what he's doing. So true, so true. Usernames. So this side is also not too much to talk about, it's just the tower climb with some annoying sections. So, and the last star is required us to finish the game. And I think this one should be a warp star, but apparently it's not. Oh yeah, it is warp star. Yeah, okay, I remember now. So I can do a small skip over here using triple jump to get on the spring earlier than you are supposed to, as like the last spring in the chain of springs, which is nice. Good morning, Marv. How was the sleep? And how does it feel to wake up at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. or something around those lines? But yeah, there we go. 75 stars, ultra badge. There are two key elements to get to the final stage, which is actually right at the beginning of the game. Oh, can he do it? Can he do it? Oh, let's go. Nice skip, bro. So that currently validated the run of 75 stars. Unfortunately, I have to cut the stream right now because now the run is invalid. But yeah, that was a 5-star skip that people use to complete this game a lot faster than doing all that. And also, as I mentioned, there's like a more true, also was true 80%. That gets the ultra badge, but it's also considerably harder because you need to do some bump flips that are not free at all. So that was usual. There's just a bit of platforming here on the darker backgrounds. It sure is forbidden. That's why I call it cheating. Cheating on the marathon run. Imagine. What a scoop. Alright. And there we go. It's time for the boss rush. That you need to kill the bull 5 times on the different with different buffs around it, like a different platforming to do. I'll vote for the Broly Tendon because he's gonna go fast. Spaghetti is the slowest tendon ever. Unfortunately, I don't have Italian accent, I only have stupid Russian accent. And if I were to try an Italian accent, it would sound like some Italian speaking Russian or Russian speaking Italian that speaks English. It's like a three-way confusion. I thought that there were more fires in the second fight, but I guess I was wrong. That's okay. Я не могу. I mean, I can't. Okay, this one is kinda annoying because you have to, if you want to go fast, you have to do some weird platforming. Like the first hit is kinda stupid, the way it works, but Isometer was able to do it just fine. I think all the runners have their different opinions on which fight of these 5 is the hardest. I wonder what Isometer thinks about this one. So only 2 fights left. Okay, this one is also pretty tough because they don't have too much space to work with. I generally just go for the very simple strats, and by that I mean I just wait for Bull to come to one of the blue platforms that are far from the fire, so you won't be able to get hit. But the strat here that Isometer usually seems also pretty viable, and it's not too painful. Okay, and the last one, last fight. Oh no, my VM just died again. That's a funny moment. So yeah, this is last fight, and after this fight, you just have to pick one of the endings, and it's gonna be T. The last fight is like one of the hardest because it is filled with the bunch of enemies, which is annoying. But that's like a classic way to buff your fight. Unfortunately, the RNG wasn't great this time. Okay, I request the spaghetti ending for the memes, and also because I can't stop the timer right now, so we need some extra time for my setup. Let's go. The good ending. Well, the Mario ending, I should say. Wait, can I do it? Can I stop the timer at the right time? He's also going for the BLG like a champ. Yes, okay, I'm here on time. And it is a crash ending. Let's go. I'll just stop the timer right now. Nice. You did it. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, guys. This is a Starman Chase Scepter of Hope, the 80 star category. And now we're going to be switching to the next game, which is going to be something else that I'm not sure what exactly. So I'm gonna be putting that thing on, hide this thing, mute this guy. There we go. Got the music on. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. And I guess I'll set up for something. I have no clue for what exactly.